You know, it helps when I add everybody back to the stream like I normally do. This is what happens when you're
Do you
pouring drinks. I'm like, hey, we're supposed to come live
Yeah.
right away, automatically. Technical difficulties with the Real Reads. Nothing else is new. Welcome to Season 8, Episode 14 of The Will Reads. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everyone in chat. I hope you guys are ready for the end of Book 8 because it's interesting. It's definitely an ending. It was an ending. Yeah, it's a word for it. It's an ending. Couple quick announcements. Ian has no brain. He's not here tonight because he bought concert tickets on a Tuesday. How dare he? go do anything fun besides record podcasts with us. But since we missed Chris last week, we'll just miss Ian this week, and we'll catch Chris up on everything last week. Get his thoughts as well real fast before jumping in. Before all that, we do have three new patrons. Three new patrons. We have Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy, Kate, and Keith. So welcome. Yeah. Also, if you're watching this live, we're doing a giveaway right now on Instagram on the Will Reed. So if you follow the Will Reeds on Instagram, we are doing a giveaway right now for a Frosty mug. Go check out our Instagram. It's at the Will Reeds is the handle, the tag. You can enter to win a Frosty mug if you win. I think we're doing the drawing on the 10th. So by the time this actually comes out in podcast format, the contest will be over. So watch us live or not. Doesn't matter. We do more of these giveaways. We do them all the time. So yeah. Yeah. So that's that. Other than that, personal life. I just started a new job. So that's fun. I started yesterday.
Where did you end up at?
I can't say on a recorded area.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah.
Regulators do not like me talking about my job without a bunch of compliance. So it's not like I do something super secret squirrel stuff. I just have regulators that if I mention where I work, then I have to do a ton of disclosures and paperwork because then it tends to it's welcome to the federal government that likes to make lots of rules in my industry. So anyway.
That doesn't sound suspicious at all. That's no dark
dark friendery at all. It's just it is what it is. It's what I've done my entire career. You can put breadcrumbs together, figure out what I do if you really, really want to. But just Google searches usually figure that out. But yeah, I can't say where I work just because compliance.
It's okay.
Yeah, sorry. So, anyways, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, started a new job, so I'm doing all the HR stuff. It's a lot of fun. Mind numbing. Today I learned how they had a whole seminar on how to use Outlook. I'm like, really? So yeah, that's what we're doing. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We went to Busch Gardens with my son on Friday, so that was fun. My son's in swim lessons right now too, so it's really fun. Getting to the age, he's like my oldest is 5, so it's getting to that fun age where he's starting to get into things. My younger two are definitely not. My daughter's definitely active, but that 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, especially until like the middle school age, like I'm getting to that sweet spot where it's really fun. To be a dad until it gets horrible again when they hate you, like middle school, high school. I'm in that. I'm still superhero to my kids and I'm cool. And not to the point where like, leave me alone, dad. So like, I'm in that sweet spot right now where things are fun. So
I don't think you're ever going to be that parent though. You're too cool for that.
Maybe I don't know. I tell a lot of dad jokes, and I try to embarrass my kids a lot. So
that's why they're gonna stick around you. They're like, you know what?
That's why they're gonna spite me. Is because I'm gonna be the guy that shows up to my daughter's pool party in a Speedo. Just be like, "Hey, I'm here to pick you up." All the kids are screaming. Hey, parenting tips. There you go. Hey, Kate. Yeah, Kate's one of our new patrons. So Kate's here. Woo! Yeah,
hey, Kate.
This episode's for you.
It's for you, and for you, and for you.
Anyway, what about you, Chris? What's going on in your world?
Had a very restful week last week. We went to Kiowa Island. I think I said the wrong one the last time, but we went to Kiowa Island in South Carolina and enjoyed time with the alligators and the beach. And just that was after driving all the way to Miami to help a student move all of her stuff back home to Charlotte. Yeah, it was. I wish I could have actually like spent some time in Miami. Did not get to spend time.
Did you know that Miami's roadmap is the same as Vice City's roadmap in Grand Theft Auto? It's actually the same roads.
Oh, so I actually know where I'm going.
Yeah,
I mean, kind of, sort of.
funny story. Like we went there in college, and we rented a van, and we had like 15-person passenger van. And there was one kid, we call him Sketchy Benny. He's a big stoner. He was passed out of the back of the van, and like we're lost, and we're trying to find our way to South Beach. And literally, he pops out of like a stupor, and he's like, "Yo, take a right up here." And we take a right. He's like, "No, take a left. All right, go 3 blocks down and take a right." And then we were there, and we're like, "Have you been here before?" He's like, "No, but I play Vice City all the time, man. I recognize." Like, it's like he just recognized where he was from the video game. Like,
that's absolutely crazy. I feel like that would be my brother CJ. He is one of those like hardcore gamers back when like Vice City was the thing. So he had the maps and stuff memorized too. So, but no, like I said, help move a girl, then had a fun vacation. Now I'm back to work and back to normal life, and I am going to see Beyonce tomorrow. That was not a joke. So that's a cool thing.
Queen Bee. Gonna go see Queen Bee.
I'm hoping Jay will be there. That's really why I'm going. Hope he'll pop up and
he does he did that a couple years ago at the Something the Water Festival in Virginia Beach. He just randomly showed up.
And I missed that. That was the year it was $10.45 too.
The first year they did it, yeah.
Yep. I was so pissed off. Like I was gonna buy tickets. I was like, nah, it's not gonna be that dope.
Yeah, because it wasn't that big of a lineup. But then Pharrell Williams, he's from Virginia Beach, organized this entire concert on the beach there in Virginia Beach, and the lineup was okay. They had some good acts in there, but like all these other people just showed up and they just let them on stage and do like sets, and it was like it was like only $10 tickets.
Elliott, Timbaland, Magoo, like
everyone.
Everybody, Beyonce,
everyone just showed up.
Literally everybody showed up the same night. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, the whole
even Dave Matthews Band showed up. Like it was like a whole like random like assortment of music. It was. I wish I'd been there. I had friends that volunteered for it, but I didn't go because I was just like, whatever. But ended up being like, man, I wish I'd been there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, you and me both.
Anyway,
I'm not gonna miss this one. So,
speaking of people showing up, we got from Twitter time the man himself, Dane Bornhold, with us tonight. The white cloak.
I appreciate you.
We let his mic work tonight. Unlike the Twitter Time Awards, we're not going to mute you.
And 2 years in a row, I gotta think something's going on, right?
Yeah. No, we're good. The Twitter Time Awards is not till November anyway, so we got some time to work out those mics and try to get that mute button working just right. So welcome to the show. Happy to have you here and help guide Chris through these chapters. They don't merely mention White Cloaks much, but they're not in it, but they mention them. They mention White Cloaks at least a little bit. They're mentioned. They're always here in our heart, right, Dane?
Yeah, exactly. Listen, if you don't have the light first, you're a dark friend if you don't. So,
well, you guys want to battle it out now or later? Because
but Darkford Allen.
Darkford Allen is up there.
I got let's see, right here.
At your parents.
I got my Origins of Wheel of Time, and it's signed by Michael Livingston. And let's see, it says right there where it's signed, to Darkford Allen.
Oh wow!
To Darkford Allen.
You just accepted it. I mean, back.
So that's how Michael Livingston signed my book. So there you go. As a dark friend. All right. So anything else before we jump right into these chapters? I feel like we're early.
No, we're
okay.
We're good.
No, Ian's not here. I'll give news on Ian's personal life. He came to my house this weekend, so that's something.
How was that?
Well, he moved into his new place and he has no furniture, and I have a ton of extra furniture, and my wife wants me to get rid of it anyway. So like, he called me up to ask me like, "Hey, if you put an ear out, if you hear anybody selling furniture, let me know." And I was like, my wife's like, "Oh, he wants furniture? Have him come over and just take what he wants." So he filled an entire truck full of furniture. That's why he posted the picture. It's all my furniture.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, that's all my furniture. So I helped him load up a truck full of furniture.
Oh, happy day.
Yeah. Dining room table, chairs, coffee table. Just a bunch of
Is this from your other business?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, some of it was stuff I was going to restore that I had like got off the curb or bought for like $1. So like I just let it. Like I was like, this stuff still is gonna work on. He's like, oh, I'll just take it how it is. I was like, all right, sure. So I guess by giving it away, I lost like maybe $3. But I'm like, he's like, do I owe anything? I was like, dude, I paid a total of like $3 for all the stuff. So
300.
Yeah, $320 on all your money. Give it all to me. Yeah. So I told him to buy a case of beer sometime or something.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Make it
He'll
easy.
drink
Make it
half
easy.
of them anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So chapter 28, Crimson Thorn. Get Elaine's point of view.
Before we go that far,
different. Okay.
I'm gonna jump backwards. I know I wasn't here last week, but I did listen in. And you guys did a phenomenal job of covering that. And the extra bit in the bargain, all of that just kind of like, I'm like, good Lord.
Yeah.
First and foremost, the reintroduction of Logain in such a powerful moment.
Yeah.
Literally like taking additional wives is almost what it seems like. Is he like marrying? Like I'm in my mind, I'm like, he's really bonding them to him. He's like, all right, I'm gonna make you female warders. Like you're gonna be mine permanently. So like I'm waiting to see the type of chaos or the phenomenal leadership that Logain offers in coming books. Like I'm waiting and anxiously actually to kind of learn about where his arc is going to take us.
Okay.
And how that ties in with Rand. Because we know that he's got this relationship with the Ashaman, but at this point I no longer trust. We already had a slight distrust for them. Now I'm like, who can I trust? Like that's the one there. If we can wrap this last group of chapters up in a neat package, it would be, and I should have changed my name to this, Who Can I Trust?
Yeah. Yeah.
The bargaining that happened, that was
Cat Swain.
Really?
It was with the sea folk. Yeah.
The sea folk. And so I understand Rand's frustration, but at the same time, he realized, like, I really left y'all with nothing to work with, and you came back with something. So I appreciate it. There's like a big question mark in his voice. Like, I'll give it to you. Like, clearly it's gonna screw me in the end somehow, but I'll take it. I'll work with what I got. So I'm glad Rand conceded and he didn't completely lay out these Aes Sedai. I love that interaction and how honest and truthful the Aes Sedai were. Ta'Veren beat Ta'Veren.
The Aiel beating Rand up, and
oh, that was the best part. Actually, it was the worst. I don't know how we played rock paper scissors for this pleasure. And Rand's just sitting there taking it. For a moment, I thought there was going to be like a supernova blast expand from Rand and blast them all the way. But I think he got it in that moment as he was getting his ass kicked. He was like, if they really wanted to hurt me, I'd be dead by now. So clearly I deserve this. And they're like, this is how we treat our little brothers. I'm like, damn, I'm so glad I've always been bigger than my older sister. That's the only thing that would come into my mind was like, nah, there was one moment in my life where she was a little bit bigger than me and she kind of gave it to me a little bit. I got it right back afterwards. And then after that, I grew exponentially. I think it was her beatings that caused my growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, now we can go on with the chapter 28.
Yeah, sounds good. And also, I do apologize if you do hear in the background, my dog is being special tonight. So she's trying to join the podcast. This is taking back to the original. Episode 1, where she had the squeaky toy and would not stop the entire. It was the first episode recorded, and she squeak, 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 squeak. Yeah,
that's what brought people to us.
Yeah, she's still around and she's still doing her thing. Tonight she's being extra talkative. So yeah, brings us chapter 28, Crimson Thorn. So we're in Elaine's point of view. So we're switching from Rand now to Elaine. And this is before she gets to Camelin, or to I guess actually to the palace. It's leading up to this. That's what this whole chapter is per se. Yeah. So they're continuing on their travels. I guess a brown sister comes to Elaine about, runaway sister, kinswoman, kinswoman that had run away, and what they used to do to runaways in the White Tower and novices and things like that. Also says how much, the I guess the ranks have expanded as they're marching along. After Egwene announced that they could open the book, as they say. There's now 300, I guess, new jailers. I think is what it said.
Yeah. I think that is what it said. Let me grab my book.
I don't have my book because Ian took it.
Yeah.
Busted out the 20-year-old paperback copy I got here. I read it today. I don't remember the number.
Maybe it did say a number. Oh no, no,
age of one. I know. Around
308 years old. Yeah, sorry, the runaway was 300 years old. They don't know how to treat her because they're like, yeah, technically you're a novice, but like you're really old.
Right.
Yeah. I remember that. There were just moments in this where I was like, can we just let it be? Like, we're at the end of the world. Like, just let it go.
Yeah. Sorry, I was skipping ahead.
I was enrolled in the novice book almost 300 years ago, and I ran away less than a year later. I submit myself and beg for mercy. Like, again, first off, how many years ago? 300 years ago? And she survived this long running away as a novice? Like, she should have died of, like, the power consuming her, but instead she's like, on top of her stuff. I'm gonna let her go. I'm gonna leave her be.
Yeah.
Put her in whites, call it a day. It is what it is.
Right. And there's lots of like grumblings amongst the kinswomen as well, because they have all these rules as far as, they don't accept runaways. They return them to the White Tower as part of their rules. And now they're realizing a lot of these people that have been in their ranks for hundreds of years were runaways too. And there's all these grumblings and the eye to eye tension between the kinswomen and back and forth. It's just a lot going on. And Elaine's kind of sick of it. But obviously the Aes Sedai are like, yeah, we'll take care of them. And like I said, the rumblings with the kin have been going on for 8 days, it says. So, but as all this is happening, one of the kinswomen comes up and says, hey, Lan says you need to come right now because there's something going on. And Lan doesn't always call often. At first, when I first read this years ago, I thought it was a trap. I do remember that. Because why would Lan send someone else? Lan would just come himself.
I had that exact same thought. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, this is bullshit. So let's not go.
Yeah, exactly. Like Lan would just come because he can move like quick, like lightning fast, like a warrior, and like just show up, like come with me, and then like be back in 5 seconds. Like that's Lan. But it's not. It's Lan actually by a hut. They go in and Adela's laid on her side dead. Isbin is dead as well. Stake through her chest.
That was a very gruesome scene. Just thinking about how one of them died from poison, and the other one literally had a stake driven slowly through her heart. I was just like, damn, that's
the one that died through poison probably had the one stake driven slowly because they said it was like a painkiller, so it like killed him slowly so they could self-torture him. Yeah, well.
Yeah, I think she like drank so much it killed her, right? And then the other one was like,
yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I think they both drank it, from what they were saying. So they said like a little bit takes the pain away, but a lot, of course, it's like taking a bunch of ibuprofen or something or Tylenol. Okay.
But yeah, the other definitely got the stake through the heart. That's there for sure. That's going to hurt for a little.
Yeah. They may have remained conscious for hours, not able to move, but aware. Either whoever did this did not want to risk someone coming too soon with an antidote, not that one knew where it was, or else they wanted one or the other to know who was killing them. That, and then for her sister to come in and to be like the level-headed, like cool, calm, collecting the details, chatting things out. For a moment, I was like, damn, that's crazy. And then, of course, as soon as everybody left,
Van Dien breaks down tears.
Yeah, I felt horrible at that point.
Now, as a Twitter time white cloak, I got to tell you, I love this part.
the slow
Them
death
witches.
of the
There's
slow
another
death
one
of the
bites
witch.
the dust. There's one less to deal with. No, I'm just kidding. No, for real, though, it's for real. I remember, so I know this is your first time, Chris. I've been reading this since I was a teenager. So I'm 36 now. But I remember the first time reading this, I remember being like in shock. Like, what is going on here, right? With all this stuff. So and I remember the same thing, right? Like with Land, same exact thing. Oh, nah, there's no way Land is calling somebody like that. Why would he do that? So it's an interesting. This book that it reminded me. It's been a long time since I read it, and we'll talk about the other chapters, I guess too. But I forgot about a lot of the like cliffhanger type things in this one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You mean the whole end?
The whole ending? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, most endings to the books have some kind of conclusion. This one's definitely a whole cliffhanger. But yeah, it is what it is. And a lot of people get jumbled these books all together. I know I've read the series now multiple times, and Crown of Thorns, Path of Daggers, even the beginning of Winter's Heart, I always jumble when the events happen. And what I know it's in the 3 books somewhere it happened, this event, but yeah, it's one of those things where it all kind of starts to jumble together.
Yeah.
Because it is a little bit more of a slower pace. You still have some action in these books, but it's definitely there's a lot more other stuff going on too. It's not a linear, and you have so many different plot lines going to now at this point. Whereas in previous books, we just had like maybe 1 or 2 like solid plot lines that were converging back together. Once you get to these books, they're just everyone's doing their own thing, and they're not coming back together at all right now. They're expanding out in different directions and get even more crazy.
At the worst time to be expanding, they're all headed their own separate ways. Like they really.
Yeah, I mean, Tarmogoyf's right around the corner. You have the Dragon Reborn, and everyone's just kind of doing their own thing and like falling apart in their own ways. Things are not looking good. But we'll get more to that.
It's looking good for the Dark Friends.
True.
Their stuff is coming together really nicely. They've had so much longer to plan, though.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to attribute all this to. Thousands of years of planning finally come into fruition.
Yeah.
That's what I'm claiming.
As Zul says, fewer days, more plot lines. Yeah. So like Crown of Thorns is only 10 days. The entire book takes place over 10 days. Yeah. So not Path of Daggers, but the previous book, book 7, is only 10 days long. Yeah. If you actually look at the timeline, because it starts with right after Dumai's Wells, book 7 does, and the very last chapter it says it's only been 10 days since the events. Like that's what whatever her name was. Starts with a G. Aes Sedai got captured by the Shadow.
You know me better than this. We'll wait for Zul to give us the name.
Galena, thank you. I was like Gadriel. No, it's not Lord of the Rings. Galena. Yeah, sorry. Lord of the Rings just popped in my head. But yeah, Tolkien's just going through my head. Anyway, yeah. So Galena says it's been 10 days. So it's the whole events of the entire book are 10 days long. Yeah, which is crazy. So yeah, shorter timeline, fewer days, more plot lines. Just plodding along. Thank you, Zul. Yeah, Galena.
Yes. Thinking of plot lines, my favorite is coming up, and this is the moment where we start the house, the house game of houses again. What do you call it?
Days de Mar.
The Days de Mar. Mm-hmm. This is where it starts to pick up again, big time.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Camelin style. Yeah, because 2 days later they arrive back. Yeah, they arrive in Camelin, and it's not the same city that Elaine left at all. It's there's Aiel everywhere because Rand's left his Aiel guard there. People are like looking at their possession like they're like because this looks strange. You have Aes Sedai, you have Aiel with Elaine. It's you have wise ones, you have the kinswoman, you have this weird procession coming in, and everyone's looking at them strange. Plus, it's completely strange in the city too because Rand's taking the city at this point, so it's the Aiel guard in the royal palace. It's just completely different than what Elaine left.
It's got to be awkward too, right? Because obviously, like the people in the city know Elaine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and they know everything that's going on, and then they know, of course, everything like with the Dragon Reborn, Rand being there, taking over. Like it has to be awkward, right? Like,
but a lot of them think she's dead, so it's just like it's got to be strange
to see her walking in off the streets, and literally walking into the throne room.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gawking. And she's sitting here like, I will do it the right way. I will not walk up and sit on this throne. And then she
Mhm.
makes a promise to the mom. I will honor your name, Morgay Strachan, and try to bring only honor to House Strachan. And then you have Dylan in the background. She's like, yeah, I told everybody to leave us alone. I figured you want a moment, but I'm going to ruin the moment because I want a moment with you. Like, that's what I heard. I don't know what you guys heard, but
It sums it up pretty well. Yeah. Yeah. Dylan comes in, gives her a little bit of rundown. Dylan thought she was dead too.
her very first question was, are you coming here to like beg for your throne from the dragon, or I love Elaine for this, and I'm coming here to claim it on my own behalf because I am my own woman.
She says, this is mine's. I don't need no man.
She got her own.
That's what I heard, at least in the book, was this is mine's. Yeah, and then she just turns and asks Dylan, do you serve me? Are you for me? Like, are you with me? And Dylan hesitates. She's like, yeah, I guess you did the best claim. So several people have claimed the throne in your absence, though. And she goes through everyone that has. And she admits, she goes, but I think I actually had the best claim besides you. So
yeah. That part right there, that was the part that really got me. She like does the whole rundown of people, and then she's like, yeah, but most of the people are really, kind of huddling around one person. And Elaine's like, who is this scoundrel? And she's like, I'm the scoundrel. It's me.
It's me.
But a lot of me hopes that for the progression of these novels, we roll into the next book and we see Elaine being like coronated or whatever they do, like giving her crown. I doubt it, but I'm hoping, because we need to kind of speed some of this along. We've been dragging our feet on this for 3 books now, even though, like you said, last book was only 10 days. So really, we haven't been dragging our feet at all, but it feels that way at this pace of reading. So.
Yeah, true. And then we end this little scene or this part of it with Elaine or with Dylan asking what she means to her, what her opinion is of Rand or what she means to do with Rand. And Elaine just casually says, I mean to bond him and marry him, and kind of dismisses it. But as she says that, Dylan just starts laughing. And we end this section with Elaine thinking, like, why is she laughing?
I'm wondering if Dylan knows that she's already bonded.
Who's already bonded?
Rand.
Oh yeah, that I don't think Dylan knows that. No, that most people don't know that.
No, but do we know for real? Do we know for certain? I mean,
no, I guess we don't know that she doesn't know. Do you know that she knows that we know that they know?
But no, that was probably my favorite part, was that interaction there.
Anything from all this before we switch over to David?
No.
Anything? Any questions you got, Dane, for Chris, or anything that you wanted to add?
I've got no questions yet. I mean, I think it's a little. I mean, the Dane side of me thinks it's questionable. You guys are very, very interested about the witches, but no.
Yeah.
No questions. I was going to ask, what he thought about, Dylan, but he kind of mentioned it seems like interested to see how it goes, right?
Exactly.
I am apprehensive at the moment. That's where I'll leave it. Like, I'm hoping she's going to be the biggest supporter that Egwene needs, but then there's that side of me that's like, she could take control very easily. Why not?
Maybe she will. Maybe she won't. You're gonna have to find out.
Yeah, Ratho. So now we switch to Dark Friend. So we switch from witches to Dark Friends. So there is a difference, Dane. There is a difference.
All right, that's what you brought me here for. Let's.
Yeah. So we get to David Hamlin, who we've met before. I know it's a lot of books that we've been through. He was one of Ravine's guards. I think he was actually one of the ones sent down to the Sterntier, if I remember correctly. It might not have been him or not, but he's part of all that. He's was one of the Queen's guards that was under Ravine when Ravine was in there.
That was a very long time ago.
It was, but he's come back to the city, and as he enters Caneland, he's just like, man, this city's ready for looting. It's just be so easy right now. Everything's kind of chaos. I can take everything and kill people. It'll be so much fun. He's your stereotypical like villain, like just your stereotypical villain. Like it's very cliche, very tropish. Like, yes, kill everyone, loot everything. So
pretty much it.
It is.
Yeah. But he's not. Yeah.
Bad guy.
Yeah. But he has instructions, so he's not going to.
Yeah.
So he goes to his house, gets led down to the basement, and there's another woman that we've seen before in the basement.
Cheyenne, how do you pronounce it? Cheyenne? How do you?
Millicien.
Oh,
Cian, yeah.
Cian. So
we've seen her a bunch of times. This is Millie, right? I am the right person. Yeah. So Millicien, and she's mentioned by name in the last book when Matt saw her in Ebudar when he was following her with the white cloak who calls himself Bors, and then Matt recognized her as the woman that tried to kill them in the first book with the dagger that burned to the wall. Same dark friend from the very first book that tried to kill him. Kill Matt and Rand.
Yeah.
On the road to kill. So yeah, these characters that you just forget over time, they keep coming back.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a second, why do we know her?
Oh yeah, we've met her multiple times in multiple books. It's just always like little snippets here and there. So
I need her to die. So I don't
she's
have to
a dark
try to
friend.
remember her name anymore.
But he looks, and they have these people that are like not dead yet, but like definitely being tortured right now as decorations. Like,
yeah, she's like I've been waiting on a competent man, but the Great Lords finally sent me one because the others, they just failed. And are these like those men? Like,
well, one's an Aes Sedai, the other one is Jake and Carradine, who is a white cloak.
That's exactly who I was thinking.
I think they got him. I just don't. I don't know if you can believe this fallacy in here, but
literally, like got him strung up with a funnel down his mouth, and like he likes.
Yeah, he likes his brandy.
That's a rough way to go too.
It would probably burn all the way down.
Yeah.
But,
and there's a lot of mention of where people are getting their orders from. I guess Cian's getting her orders directly from Moradin, who I guess in the previous book was named the Nameless. But then the Aes Sedai said she's getting her messages from good old Magedian. So like there's this whole like, who are you to tell me what to do kind of thing. And she's like, all right, you're bound. Here's some more brandy for you. Let's get another cast. Yeah. So
it was a weird scene. I can't wait to see it in action in the TV show, if it even happens.
But if it happens, yeah. But yeah, so ungags the Aes Sedai. She begs for mercy. And the other Aes Sedai is named as Fowlin. So another Aes Sedai that we've met before, black sister. The gag is replaced. Another brandy cask is ready for her. And then she turns to David and asks, how would you like to have your hands on a queen? And he's like, oh, I would like that very much. And we end this chapter with some dun dun dun.
Like that was the number one question I had: is who are they sticking with? Is he going after Elaine? Is he going after her mom? Is he?
Everybody thinks Morghese is dead. I think at this point.
This is actually a lot more fun than I remember with being a new reader, because there's so many things I want to say, and I'm like, oh man, I can't. So what do you think?
If you want to tell me what queen, I'm okay with that. You won't spoil me much.
Nah, man, I can't do it to you. I won't let you.
So there's a guy that shows up next book, Chris. His name's Freddie Mercury.
Right.
He's a killer queen.
Yeah,
I bet he is.
And
that's who it is.
Is he a Rocket Man too?
No, that's Elton John. But he's but sometimes he's under pressure. Another
Man,
one
you don't know.
does
He's not in it, dude.
another one goes, another one goes. Another one goes.
Hal knows all about it.
What'd you say?
I said Hal knows all about it.
Oh yeah, yes, Queen. So, any thoughts from this chapter before we move to chapter 29?
No.
All right, a cup of sleep. That's our next chapter, and we're
always awesome. Don't be an utter woolhead, Rand.
Yeah, just don't. Just go to Elaine. Jeez. and yeah, I mean, Rand's pacing, thinking about Elaine, thinking about this 2 letters still from book 2 or 3 or whatever book that was. I remember book 4.
Like,
but
Rand has been through so much crap, dealt with so many people, conquered, killed, made mistakes, and he still can't talk to a girl.
Got girl issues, man. Not all that.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think.
He literally has a kingdom to, like, let me take that back, because then most women would be offended. He doesn't have a kingdom to hand her. He has a kingdom to not interact in, though he has conquered, but it's hers by birthright. So he can be there to support her claim, but not give it to her. Support her claim.
Yeah. And chat's correcting me. Book 4. It doesn't matter. It was years ago, right? We've been doing this podcast for years. All right. It was years ago.
Literally.
When those letters were literally years ago.
If only Matt or Pam was there, they know girls. Hal, you were absolutely right. We know at this point Matt is a play on. Like, Matt definitely knows his girls. Well, Perrin's learning from Elias, so I don't know.
I don't know if it's the best teacher.
But I don't know how. Yeah, at this point, there's some credibility issues there, but
yeah,
because Elias has been roaming with the wolves, and
yeah, I need my SpongeBob 6 years later. I need to get a video to throw in here. She brings up Matt as well during this, like what, and then Rand's down. It's like, Matt's fine, like, cause he's like, you're in here sulking. You're not even worried about like what's happened to Matt. It's like, Matt's fine. Don't bring up Matt.
I know if he was dead. What do you mean? He's like, I can feel it.
Yeah,
I can feel it coming in the air.
Yeah, it's just this argument. I mean, Min's like, go to her. I don't want to. You hang up. No, you hang up.
You're angry. I'm not angry. Is what they.
Like, she's like, didn't you want her to have Andor whole, not ripped apart like Kyrie and Atir? Like, he's like, I did it. I gave it to her. It's hers. And she's like, now good. Now go get what you want. Like, it's a trade-off,
Yep.
The fact that a woman who loves you, that you love, is telling you to go love another woman, like, bruh. Nobody gets that.
Nobody gets that.
Nobody gets that.
Nobody wants that. Maybe. I don't know.
No.
That's complicated. That's complicated.
No, I don't even want to be in this situation. It's just too much. He had so many. It's like you said. He had so many other things going on, and here he is talking to his one girlfriend about his other girlfriend. I mean, that's just
it's a lot. It's just a lot of. It's messy. It's messy.
Going on. I don't know.
Yeah. But then Sora Leah comes in unannounced because the maidens aren't announcing anybody at this point because they let anybody in as long as they're not a threat. They're like, yeah, just go ahead then. Like the maidens are still pissed.
I love, like, I am 100% here for that reaction. Like, they're at least doing their job, but they're doing the bare minimum. Like, he wants to keep us at arm's length. He doesn't want to let us do our job, so he's going to be interrupted. And maybe we keep enough eyes on him because he's going to be interrupted so often that he's not going to get a chance to sneak away. But
then Van turns around and signs Ashaman to filter people. Instead, it's like, yeah, you do it instead. Turn people. But anyway, so Sora Leah comes in with 5 other women. They're all Aes Sedai, and all women that were part of capturing Rand and putting him in a box. So, our favorite Aes Sedai sisters.
Again, the commending of Rand happens here because Rand could have easily blown up and taken care of these women at any point. Of course, he realizes he needs them, But B, he's pretty much got them. Well, he doesn't have them whipped. The wise ones have them whipped at this point.
Yeah, they're Datsun. They've been treated like crap and beaten to a pulp.
The
and
Tokyo betrayal cannot be met, and they realized that.
Yep.
So
they give him the choice to Rand to do what to do with them. And Min's trying to view the viewings, but they're all kind of jumbled together, and she can't really pick out anything particularly. Just there's a lot of stuff going on, as there is with any Aes Sedais. But yeah, they all eventually. I guess Rand interrogates them first a little bit. Why they would serve him, and they all have their different answers. But they all come back to the Rand's important. They all have their different reasons behind it, but that's kind of what they all sum up to.
He's actually your orders. That's like your life. Like I let them beat you. Like why would you want to be with me? They're like, well, at the end of the day, I'm a couple of them. I'm Green Aja. My job is the battle. I'll be at Tarmangaiden with you no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Min sees a viewing of one of them bonding an Oshaman, which she thinks is really interesting.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Now, what if that's the cure? I mean, Rand clearly has not gone as insane as he should have. Maybe if he could stay closer to his, to Alana, then he would be able to keep his sanity completely intact. Or maybe because he's Taviran and he's the dragon, this is where we need more than one person. So maybe he becomes bonded by his wives at some point in the near future.
No, as a White Cloak, I just gotta say, I mean, maybe he shouldn't have channeled in the first place. That's something.
I also have it out with Kalendor.
That's his own fault. He's got to deal with himself. What do you want to do? No.
I know we're not there yet, but with Kalendor, I feel like he's gonna have to be bonded to the women to be able to then use Kalendor properly.
Kalendor adds some complexities to it for sure.
Yeah.
To the future.
they have the little poster on the wall on the White Cloak. So, every time a man channels, God kills a kitten.
That's right.
So
channel away because I'm a dog. Right. As I look at my cat.
As you look at your cat. Yes, as all this is happening, Min's viewing, Rand turns and starts to walk back towards the Dragon Throne. He gets about halfway there and turns and rushes back towards them and furious. And he's like, would you be locked in a box? Would you accept that as a punishment? They're all terrified at this point because he's kind of going a little crazy. I mean, Luz is talking to through a lot of all this, and
they're like, yes, lock me up.
Now they all agreed they would be locked. And Min's shocked by this, thinks it must be Taviran. Why they're so readily willing to be locked in a box and beaten every day. But suddenly she sees this weird aura flash above all of them and blurts, out that they'll all serve you. Stop what you're doing, Rand. They're good. And Rand listens. And
they will all serve you each in their own fashion.
In their own way.
Right.
Yeah.
That's important because they're not just going to outright serve you, because I said I don't outright serve anybody except for themselves. But
you see how Chris feels about Aes Sedai.
I mean, show here. We have a White Cloak.
I gotta put on an act. I don't. Them witches.
Yes, they can all burn at the stake. Them Tarvalon witches. Get on my inner Ian. They can all burn in Tarvalon
witches. Yeah, but Rand, asked them to swear the oath to them. They all swear it instantly. And then Rand loses interest. He's like, all right, fine, be gone. I'm done with you. And Rand turns to Sorlia and says, how many more, women do you have? And she's like, probably a bit more. there's a few more that we'll take in. And then Rand immediately goes back to sulking about Elaine.
Yeah, over Elaine and this Elaine. I need him to go ahead, go see Elaine, get married, start having some children.
Yep. So as Rand's going through, all these emotions and thoughts. He's like, you know what? We need to go see Cat Twain. You know what, man? You're coming with me. It's good for you to do some viewings while you're there. So come with me. Min agrees. They go, walk out past the maidens, and they're just strolling down the hallway, get about like 5 steps on the hallway, and then like a giant explosion. Just boom. The entire sunroom's just like ripped apart in all of Rand's apartments. Chris is shaking his head.
Yeah. So what did you think was happening? That would be my question.
So I don't want to seem overly like confident or overly like I'm BSing, but multiple thoughts ran through my head. First thought was dark friends, which was that encompasses everything. So my second thought was maybe a chosen one, a forsaken, had gotten through. And I was like, no, they're not that bold right now. And then I thought maybe somebody had lost it. So that's kind of where I landed. It was like maybe one of the Ashaman, because we know that they've, been going crazy in general. Maybe one of them finally lost it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I was like, damn, this sucks. Like, Rand can't catch a break. And then there was a part of me that thought maybe Shan Chan. I was like, nah, that can't be the case. That would be too obvious. So then I went back to one of the Ashaman lost it.
That's crazy.
Part of me was like, did Rand go crazy? Because I was listening to it, not reading it. I was like, no, it's not Rand, but somebody went crazy.
Yeah.
And
he turns to more that Ashman next to him is like, can I trust you to guard men? He's like, yeah, I'll serve you to death. He's like, all right, guard men with your life. It takes off running.
Run. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he felt channeling. Rand felt the male channeling. So he knows it's a man somewhere. And he asked more if he could trust him. And Min seems confused on why he would even ask that. Of course, Rand felt the man channel, so he's like, "Can I trust you? Like, is this part of are you in on this?" Like,
well, and like even he should have known exactly what was going on. Like he should have felt the channeling too. So Rand at this point, I think this is what really bothered me the most in this whole moment was Rand really doesn't know who he can trust at this point. And the few people he should know he can trust, he's scattered throughout the world.
Yeah, 100%.
We complained about this for many books, but now it's like all coming back to bite him at one time. So
he pushed Perrin and Matt away on their own little missions, and there's not many people that he has in his inner circle he can trust. In fact, we got to that early in this book when we were talking about the battle with Sanchan. Like everyone around him are people that want to kill him. Like he doesn't have any friends around him. Maybe I mean there's Bashir.
Frenemies.
He has Bashir. But that's
Bashir is the Force too. We'll give him that.
Yeah. But yeah. So he knows. So switches to Rand's point of view. A man's channeled. Rand sees the source, and as he sees it, sees a face flash in front of him. That's not his own. It goes away. I just wanted to point that out. And that's happened a couple of times now in this book. As he's been seizing the source, he sees flashes or things go double. Yeah. So it happens again here.
I recognize that.
Yeah, it happened. Huh. It happened when you find the Sanchan too.
Yeah.
It's happened a couple of times actually. Yeah, all throughout this book. But
so like it kind of lends to the theory that Ian keeps having about him, like maybe this is like a time rift deal and the magic is really changes in time being done around them, and maybe with this continual merging of his prior self, some of that's bleeding through. Could be Luz,
or maybe he's going crazy.
Nah, this could be Luz like trying to take over. We did have that moment where we said Luz was definitely gonna eventually win over, so maybe it would suck to see Rand just disappear in the background. Maybe he becomes the head and loses his voice, which to Luz's point, he's been right the whole time about certain people. Like he knew something that Rand didn't know. He's like, kill him now. Do it while they're not looking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do it while they are
Yeah.
looking, but they're not drawing power because literally Deshiva was who ran Saul, and
Yeah.
he was hearing people
But-
talk about he's dead. I'm telling you.
Before we get there, it's he does sense Alana's outside the palace, so he's happy about that. He's making his way through, and he's doing like the little like a super ninja invisible trick with the power to make himself go invisible whenever the maidens run by. So all the maidens are running towards the apartments, and he folds the light around him, makes himself go invisible.
He's allowing them to go fight for him, just not where he's at.
Yeah.
Gray space.
Loses his head all giddy and excited. He's all like, yeah, we get to fight.
We get to kill them finally. Like this, he's so excited about the fact that he was right. That's really all this is about.
Sure. And Cat Swain and a couple sisters stride by. Of course, Rand's hidden the entire time through that. And then as he's not hidden, the Sea Folk ambassador that's assigned to him from the bargain pops her head out, and Rand's like, no. Like ties him up and throws him back in their rooms. Like, stay in your room. You're not coming out.
Yeah.
But he's just
He's
moving
gonna
down
pay for that later.
Yeah. He's moving down the corridors and hunting whoever this was and trying to like sense for anyone else channeling. And finally he gets to a kind of a clearing, or I guess a part of the palace where he spots just Shiva and a couple other Ashaman. They're arguing over whether Rand's dead or not.
We knew the minute that Shiva became sane a few chapters back that he was bad news. When he started arguing with Rand, I was like, oh, there we go. Like, Ian's right. Not often do I just flat out, all right, Ian's right. But at that moment, I was like, Ian's right. And then to read his name, I was like, damn. Glad I did not bet steak dinner because I would be buying one tonight.
Who do you think the Shiva is? Just a random Ashaman?
Dark friend.
He's a dark friend? Okay.
He's the dark friend that we keep looking for. We keep wanting to put it off on what's his face?
Taim,
but it's really him.
Okay. Yeah. But as they're arguing, Deshiva spots Rand, immediately channels at him. But Rand blocks it, and then like shoots lasers and fires. It's like red lines. It doesn't sound like lasers being shot out.
Yeah.
Like laser beams flying out and fire as well. He's like shooting everywhere. But they're fighting from all directions. And when he runs to the other side to try to like flank them and gets around, when he gets back, they're gone. In the meantime, he feels what could have been a gateway being formed. And people are running scared everywhere. Luz is renting his head, and Rand at this point just walks out in the open. He's not even trying to hide. He's just trying to finish off Deshiva. Almost kills some other Ashman. So
I know. Almost kills Flynn and others.
Narishma, they pop their head out and like Rand shoots stuff at them, almost kills them, and is like, are you with them or can we trust you too? And
they're like, dude, chill out, relax, you're paranoid. He's like, but I just got attacked by you people.
Yeah.
This is where I put a lot of blame on Rand. How do you task a man with starting an army of male channelers and not make yourself a presence?
Right. Yeah, that was
stupid, outright dumb.
Yeah.
There's no other word for it. They would all know who I am. They would all know I'm in charge. They would all be wearing my pins. If I gave you a pin, you gonna wear it. Like, no.
Yeah. I mean, throughout history, that's come back to bite a lot of people in history. You give someone a massive army and then not pay attention to what they're doing. It usually comes back to bite you. I'm thinking Julius Caesar, Roman Senate. Here, go fight the Gauls. Here's a giant army. Oh crap! Comes back and just takes out the Senate. But anyway, so
reading that line was funny though. I remember, I forgot where he's just like, where they call out to him like, "Hey, it's me, Narishma and Flynn." Right? And he's like, "I didn't recognize you." Rand lied. Come here.
Yeah, I ran lied. I knew who you are.
Come out here real quick.
Yeah, come out real fast.
Maybe we should wait a little bit for you to calm down.
Yeah, Rand knew exactly who it was. He didn't care. they're Asha'man. At this point, the Asha'man are bad. He doesn't know who's good and who's bad. He's gonna kill them all. I love this quote too. Trust was the knife, and the hilt was as sharp as the blade.
Yeah.
That's a good quote. Where like at this point he can't trust anyone, no matter the hilt and the blade are just as sharp. It's
Yeah.
And after about an hour, he finally gives up searching. We switch back to Min. She's hiding in the basement, and Rand's there as well because this is a little bit later. And Rand's shielded Moore because Moore's gone full crazy. He's fed when Moore's like a child now, and just
it was a little sad for him.
For him.
his mind. Yeah, his mind's completely gone. He's just playing with toys and building blocks and just babbling like a little kid.
It's one of the saddest things in the books, really. One of those ones that sticks out,
Yeah, and Rand's just shielded him rather than killing him because he's like, well, he's crazy right now, so he'd probably just play with blocks with the entire palace if he wasn't shielded. It's like a little kid. Just minds went completely to mush.
But then you like imagine Min too, right? Like she says that I guess it happened like almost immediately, right? Where he's like fine,
Right.
and then next thing you know, he's like, "Hey, don't worry,
Eyes
I'll
glazed
just
over.
block all the walls and like make you a place to
Yeah.
safe." Like that had to be scary.
A little traumatizing for her.
Yep. And as he's talking to Min, a voice comes from behind. Rand spins around, and it's our good friend Mazar Taim.
At this point, you got to be, if you're Rand, you're really wondering, like, can I trust him?
Yeah. And he's not wearing the flare. Like from Office Space. He's not wearing the flare.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Can I trust him?
You have to wear the flare. It tells you who you are. All right.
It's kind of mockery too, though, right? Because his coat has the dragons on, so he's definitely like trying to fill in that Rand void, like Chris was saying, right? Like, he's put these people for him, and now he's like kind of trying to dress to look like you.
Like Rand, yeah.
He
is slowly becoming the dragon reborn.
Yeah.
He may have even set this whole thing up.
Interesting.
Like those
guys. There's a stare
him.
down right here. I mean, Rand turns around and like clenches his teeth and like stares down at Taim, and Min raise her knives and everything like that. And Rand's just like, you're holding the power. Like, why are you holding the power around me right now? Like, what's your move, man? It's definitely a tense moment. But Taim drops the power. And he says, I had to because, I heal everywhere and they're so jumpy. I need to hold the power just to protect myself. He comes with an excuse.
So many great excuses. I might be stabbed. The women.
Yeah, and he says, he had a few deserters and names off a few, not any of the people that Rand had seen.
Yeah.
But named some other people off.
So he said, okay, great. So the list is growing of men I have to kill.
Yeah. And Taim looks over at Fedrin Moore and it's like, are you going to take care of this one or you want me to do it? Rand's like, I'll take care of it. It's just, like I said, sad.
I like this interaction, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a moment. It's like, I will take care of Fedwin. And then he's like, the wisdom in my village could cure anything. She knows more about herbs than anybody I've ever met. I learned a little from her. Which are safe, which are not. Sleep, Fedwin, Rand murmured. He just kind of gave him a little wine, a little something in the wine.
A little poison, yeah.
This was a threat.
But yeah, he was mad also because Taim says, you want me to kill this one? And Rand's like, he has a name. Like, don't call him this one. Like, he was mad about that too. And yeah, it was a threat as well. Yeah, going back to the whole poisoning thing. Yeah. I know a thing or two about poison.
2 chapters about people drinking stuff and dying. So, don't trust nothing in Randland with that you drink there.
And he's like, return to the Black Tower. Do not come back here. I may be moving about for a while. He's going to kill any man he sees that he does not absolutely trust.
Yeah, and Taim asks me, when's the next time you're going to visit? He's like, I'll do when I feel like it. Like, go back. I'll come there when I feel like it. And Taim leaves, and the Min's just crying, cursing Rand. for what he had to do. But I mean, it's a mercy kill at this point. I mean, he can't keep him shielded forever, and if he unshields him, it's just going to be bad. I mean,
Crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. So, yeah, he basically says, ain't no, we got time for that.
Correct.
It's his response. So, and that's how we end this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well,
anything from all
that's a decision for him and Min to leave. So he gets the ultimate avoidance tactic. Maybe he staged this that way he didn't have to have a run-in with Egwene.
Okay.
I mean, not Egwene, Elaine.
The Elaine.
Okay. Yeah.
He's like his way of stalling, right?
He's like, stall tactics. Hey guys, thought, can you blow up that tower? Just knock a hole right through it. And then run like hell.
The things that men will do to avoid a woman.
Yeah. Right.
Well, he's not mad at him, at least. I mean, I know if my wife's mad at me, I'll do almost anything to avoid. But that's just
in junior year, I shaved my head.
Delay the inevitable. Like, just, oh, man, no, I'm busy right now.
I had a girl I did not like who loved to play on my curls. I shaved my head. I had 9.5 inches of, I mean, my curls were like ringlets. They dropped to my eyes. She would not leave them alone. Shaved my head.
Yeah.
All of it. Gone.
That's a little extreme.
She's like, oh, what did you do?
Yeah. It only made it worse. She's like, oh, look. And then she did a little thing where you rub it and your hair stands up.
Yeah.
She left it alone the next day, though. So I was all right. She really she got the memo.
Yeah. There you go. Fun times. You guys ready for I guess, well, there's technically 2 more chapters, but really just 1 more chapter. Let's be honest.
Yeah, we're ready. Even this chapter was like,
it's your boy Perrin.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I really don't care about this next chapter.
you don't love Perrin?
Chris loves
Perrin.
Perrin is by far.
Dane hates Perrin. If you know that.
Dane hates Perrin, but Perrin actually is one of my favorite characters, actually. But
so Dane, why did you choose to be Dane?
Oh man, it just
what's your draw for the White Cloak? Nah, what's the draw to the White Cloaks? What happened to
the shits and
just the jokes, yeah. Especially for like Twitter of Time, yeah, man. Just for the fun when it started a couple of years ago, I was like, when the show came, like they started talking about a show. Yeah. I was like, man, how funny would it be if like it got really popular? Like, because I remember seeing like when like all the Marvel stuff, like you had Groot and stuff, and just like the president saying something, he would just be like, "I am Groot," right? Like, my whole thing was like, if this is really popular, how fun would it be to be like the president's a dark friend, and like everybody be like, "Oh, I know where this is from," but it just kind of grew into this.
There was the Grom profile for a while on Twitter Time, whereas the guy just said Grom. Yeah, he hasn't posted a lot, he or she or whoever it was that running that account, but it's that was funny. I enjoyed the Grom.
So we do finally get a Perrin perspective.
We do, yeah. Perrin's marching in the
finally
land of White Cloaks, Amadicia, the land of White Cloaks, because he's marching towards the Prophet, not towards any White Cloaks, but and it's cold. It's winter. There's snow everywhere. The Aiels seem not to be faced by the cold, even though like they're not dressed appropriately for it, and they're not used to the cold. They're desert people, but they're not. They're hardened people, so they're fine. And yeah, they're going to confront the Prophet and the Dragon Sworn in particular.
And of course, the only thing on my boy's mind is, I was right not to bring her.
Yeah, it's right not to bring her.
So this is where like I love Perrin, but it's a little annoying. Like, she's your wife, bro. We get it.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah.
You understand.
You got Elias and Aram with them, riding along with Perrin on the other side. Aram and Elias. And she was surprised that Fael did not get mad about being left behind. But
that's because he's putting her in her place now.
Mm-hmm. So we get to that in Fael's perspective, but yeah.
Elias got that on lock. Elias is like, she ain't fight you, did she? Perrin's like, I don't want to admit it, but you're right. If I yell at her, then she listens to me. He's like, I know I'm right.
She's still dating. That's how they do things there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we get a description of some of the prophets' men that are outside this town as they're walking in, and they're kind of like, a little bit of ragtag, like
dirty and jankety is kind of the words.
Yeah, dirty and jankety. Yeah.
Jankety.
Yeah.
Drab woolen clothes and look like they've been struggling through life, and half of them were nobles at one point, but they all look kind of out of sorts.
Yep. And you get a description of the town as well. And Parents think to himself, he's not here to fight Massima. He doesn't want to fight Massima. He just wants to get Massima, take him to Ran. That's what he's trying to do. And he eventually finds the house where the prophets stay, in the tall house. The Aes Sedai keeping their faces hidden because obviously the prophet does not like Aes Sedai, and they know this. And Perrin asks to see Massima, and they kind of like look at him like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Perrin, like Rand's friend.
Right.
I'm Rand's friend. Like,
he should know me. Yeah,
he should know who I am. Like, you need to let me in right now. like, you don't know who I am. You don't know who I am."
No, well, and they finally let him in.
Oh, yeah.
They take,
Yeah, and they escort him straight to Massima. And he's standing in the middle of this room. He gives a description of the room and everything like that. And Massima is batshit crazy, just right away.
Massima's a weirdo, man.
He is just weird. He's like Sons of the Lambs, like Buffalo Bill crazy.
Yeah. He's a weird dude, man.
Yeah, he's surprised to see Perrin came, and he starts throwing shit at Perrin about what Perrin's been doing and how it's an insult to the dragon and blah blah blah, all stuff like that. It's like, you don't even know who Rand is. Like,
yeah.
And as all this is going on, the Aes Sedai finally show their faces, and Seema immediately cuts off. He's just like, "You brought them here? Like, this even confirms even more. Like, how dare you bring them here?" And Perrin's just thinking, like, only if you knew the Oshermen are here too. You don't even know what I brought.
They were channeling men here.
Yeah,
which is kind of interesting. Like, so the women exhibit this like youthful face, but the men get nothing but driven mad.
Hard times, man.
Right? Like, Jordan, you could have done better by the men. That's all.
To be fair, though, we don't
maybe they grow 2 inches or something taller. That is.
Yeah.
So as they go crazy, though, they don't really get to live long enough to do it, right?
This doesn't seem right. Doesn't feel the same without a White Cloak mind rant.
Well, they haven't cut audio off yet.
I haven't cut his audio off yet. But yeah. Rand sent Perrin to stop the killing and to bring Massima to him, and that's what he tells him. He's like, "Yeah, I'm sent to. The killing needs to stop. You need to come with me." And the tension's super high. I mean, it's just at a peak here in this room. And Massima answers like, "Yeah, I whenever the dragon summons, I have to meet right away, but I got a lot of shit to do. So give me a few days, and I'll leave with you and everything like that." And
we'll get there eventually.
And we'll get there eventually. And Perrin's like, "No, we can get you today. Like, we can go to Chiron today, and you can be back in no time at all. So we're leaving right now." And Massima is like recoiled, disgusted, like the thought of the one power being used. He's like,
"Yeah, do not touch me with their evil magic." I'm surprised y'all haven't teamed up with them. The White Cloaks and Massima. That sounds like a great combination.
Look, the White Cloaks are not crazy like Massima is crazy.
I mean, the friend of my friend, the friend of my enemy is my friend, right? Or my
they're
friend
pretty crazy too. Truthfully, they're a little crazy too. But yeah, man, Massima's so weird. Like, I don't know if you guys say it or not, Alan, but like, I like when Perrin, like, he's like touching the power is a blasphemy, and then Perrin's like, "Bro, you know that the Dragon Reborn channels."
Yeah, he's like, "No Rand channels." He's like, "Yeah, but it's meant for no other man but him." Like,
yeah. He's just a strange guy. But I think it's in though what you said though. I mean, they are kind of alike if you think about it, really.
Yeah.
in some cases, like, being hypocritical about a lot of stuff. Like Massimo's kind of hypocritical here about like the creator, right? Like he's like
Sure.
the light made flesh, right? And then we know like in their lore, right? The one power is something from that, right? So
Sure.
you definitely see the crazy from both sides here.
Oh, sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Perrin just says, "Hey, we'll ride, but no delays. We go right now." And Perrin can sense that he smells grim, and he says he's anxious to meet with Ram. And Massima answers like, "Well, I'm very anxious to meet with the Dragon Reborn," but at the same time,
I have a bone to pick with him.
Yeah, but he smells grim. So,
I actually don't even remember what happens. I'm gonna have to Google that one myself.
yeah, I don't remember what happens next. Well, anyway, after all this, we switch to Fael. So anything from the meeting, yeah, they hug it out. they become friends. It's all about the friends we met along the way. So anything before we switch to Fael's point of view?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we switch to Fael. She's taking up falconry, hawking with one of her I guess women that she's one of the Fael shot. They're hunting with falcons, catching little rabbits here and there. She's been happy with her new handmaidens, with her servants, with a little more gays, Magadan, what our heroes say it, and Bane and Shiad have come with Fael as well. Even though Fael refused them as part of her escort, didn't want them to come. They insisted. Some of the Aiel left behind. And Barrelane's there as well. So, and she's, happy that Barrelane's, but not happy that Barrelane's there. It's a really,
it's just an awkward situation all the way around.
Yeah. Happy that Perrin's been behaving properly, as she says. And I put behaving in air quotes, behaving properly.
He's finally yelling at me and not her.
Yeah.
I never understood that either. Maybe we needed a lady here tonight to explain this. But I just didn't whether I'm trying to stay away from her or shutting her.
Maybe we need Robert Jordan to figure out where he was going with this.
Yeah.
I
always felt they gave Perrin a hard time. Like she was always giving him like way harder of a time than he could be.
I get that she's proud of Perrin for leading. And I get that he's finally coming into himself and actually leading and becoming a harder person. Manning up, if you want to use the misogynistic term or whatever. I get that aspect at least from her culture, but the whole yelling at me versus yelling at Barrelane, that seems a little. I don't know. Maybe just looking at it through a modern lens and not the 90s lens. I don't know. Maybe it's just Robert Jordan's weird way of writing these.
It was all Jordan.
Yeah.
He's just like projecting his wishes. Like, I want a woman that I could just yell at and she'll just take that shit.
Yeah, I don't know how her and Harriet's relationship was. That's maybe the question for Harriet next. Yeah, first question I ask her, like, did he yell at you a lot? Are you okay? Would that be a perfect question to ask Harriet?
Why do you think I had to start the Amazon series? That way I could pay for my counseling.
Exactly.
If you listen, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think someone actually posted something like that. What was that? Someone said the taint. Someone posted something on Twitter time today. Something like rather than trying to cleanse the taint, why don't you just go to therapy or something like that? Something along those lines. Like
work it out with Luz.
Yeah, work out with Luz. But yeah, she's proud of Perrin for leading. And then as all this thoughts are going through, she sees some people coming and they're terrified. They're some of her people, and they run down. What was Will say? This was Jordan making a weird culture twist between men and women. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah. So yeah, some people. Messengers come and say that the Sean shouldn't have been meeting with Massima. Perrin's in trouble. And Fael's like, oh shit, we got to get messengers right now. Like, this is not good.
And then out of nowhere, They
Yeah.
can
Then suddenly a man falls off his horse screaming, an arrow through him, and then out of nowhere, hundreds of Aiel are all around them, attacking in every direction.
Damn Shido, like you would thought by now they would have been taken out. I really
don't
just
go
like the fact that they're still doing their thing, their own little cult.
Dude,
and
they're
they
like
get
herpes,
order.
man. They just don't go away. They keep coming back. You try. It's
Just
like,
keep coming back.
it's just like, it's it's just, yeah, they just keep coming back, man. That's Shadows is the herpes of Wheel of Time. That's my name.
Oh man. Yeah, that's a good tweet, you guys. That's a good X that you need to send out.
Yeah, I do. X Shadow or the herpes of Wheel of Time. Just keep coming back. But yeah, Fayo's more worried about Perrin than this attack going on right now. So like, she's just trying to like get like messengers, like run, get the messages to Perrin. Who cares about anything? And and she takes off running as well, and realize her horse falls out from underneath her. At first, she thinks her horse trips, but then she realizes her screamed before it hit something. So it was definitely taken out. Everything's kind of a jumble for her. As she's trying to react and pull a knife out, the Aiel's on top of her before she can even really do anything to defend herself. Smacks the knife away. She tries to fight, but to no avail. I mean, there's no contest. And he disarms her and strips her down completely naked and binds her with ropes.
That sounds like a good night.
Maybe
She's
not in
been
this
asking for this
context.
for a while, and now she's finally getting it.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm like, man, that's got to be cold. Because
that part, yeah, we'll go.
Yeah. Being naked in the cold is not fun.
No, not in the snow. Good gracious.
Yeah. I've only had to do that once. Stripped down naked, and that's because I fell into the water when it was snowing. And you have to take your clothes off immediately, otherwise you get hypothermia real fast. But yeah, it's not comfortable even without clothes on. But yeah, several men are down when she gets brought back. A bunch of people are dead. She sees Bane and Chiad. They're also captured naked, but they're just kind of just mean mugging. Like they don't even care they're naked. They're just they're like, how dare you take them as guy shine? Like this is against Aiel culture at all. Like you can kill them. You don't take them prisoner. Like this is. She calls them Shido,
creating its own culture.
Yeah, it's a Shido by name, and this is when it kind of clicks with Fael that Shido. I thought they were in, the what is it, the whatever dagger, Kinslayer's dagger. I didn't think they were even close to here. But Magadin's also, Magdan's also caught. A few others are captured, and she just keeps on worrying about Perrin. Like, did anyone get out?
Perrin, we gotta warn Perrin. We gotta let him know.
But she realizes Barreline's not there, and she's like, I hate the fact that Barreline has to deliver this message. Like,
will she deliver it? That's the real question.
Will she? Yeah.
Or she just leave finally.
Who knows?
Opportunity.
It is. And we switch to the last point of view. So anything from the Shido capturing Fael. What do you think? What's your thoughts about this? Because we've seen kidnappings in almost every book. What do you think about Fael being captured? What do you think Perrin's gonna do?
Nothing.
Wow. Okay.
No, I say that. It's the Shido, dude. There's nothing he can do. They're Aiel. At the end of the day, he does not have his army of wolves anymore. He does not have other wolf people yet. Like, I feel like he needs to get his other army together and then get the few Aiel that he brought with him and then go get her back.
How long would that take?
Probably longer than she has.
Books.
She'll be saved by the time he gets people together.
There you go. It'll happen when it happens, right? So, anything from all this? Any thoughts about the Shido showing up? The damn Shido, just always.
They always show up at the most inconvenient time. So when it said Aiel popped up and they were captured, and I was like, I actually at first thought, damn, are they that mad with Rand? And I was like, nah, this ain't them. This is not their way.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Interesting. So the final point of view is to switch to Egwene, and it's really short. She's just riding with amongst her Aes Sedai, and I skipped ahead because I was reading through my notes and forgot that this is the part where it's talking about all the new people. So I said at the beginning of the chapter, Elaine and Egwene always get mixed up in my head. But anyway, so Egwene has all the new people that have joined over time because she'd opened the Book of the Novices. So there's a lot of new people, a lot of new novices coming out of the woodwork. And one of them even might be more powerful than Nynaeve. So, yeah, she mentions that as well.
That's gonna be interesting.
But what shocks me more is some of them are from Emmons Field.
Yep, because they're talking about.
They're sticking their tongue out at her, and she's like, "I'm in seat. I'm gonna have to punish you." You know, like,
yeah,
can't do that. Like, it's cute. I get it, but
no.
we can't have that. And then Bryn comes up and she tries to act all cool around Bryn. I mean, she's happy that Bryn's there because she wants her general close by and, you know, for army and everything like that. But at the same time, she's trying to act all cool about it. She's like, yeah, whatever.
I'm not freaking out on the inside. Yeah.
The hall is all obeying begrudgingly. They're testing as much as they can. They're obeying when they have to obey and trying to test her orders when it has nothing to do with war as much as possible. But yep, that's kind of the I guess the feeling of the camp right now. We got a lot of new people. We got the Hall of Sitters that are kind of somewhat not really being that supportive
at all.
And you know, she orders the sitters to go ahead and open the gateway. They open a giant 13 sisters form together, open a giant gateway to outside of Tarvalin. They see Dragon Mount off in the distance, and Shiriam turns to Egwene, says, "It has begun."
Yeah,
it's time.
It's time.
Watch this whole next book not even mention Egwene at all.
But this next book,
no Egwene.
No Egwene at all.
Probably even no mention of Perrin either. They're just gonna drop both of them from the book for, you know, bring them back at the very end. And Perrin breathed. Egwene smiled.
And Zulz did say Perrin has several thousand fighters. Yeah, but weren't they all just attacked? I guess no, they didn't bring all the people with them. So there are some people elsewhere.
Yeah.
So if I didn't bring everybody with him, and then Perrin brought up life. Yeah, so there's more. Yeah.
Yeah, he just has to choose, right? Like, is he going to do
Rand? Go
after Rand, or is he going to go after his lady? What's he going to do? It's a tough choice. He's in a tight spot.
Yeah. He has an order
He's
to bring.
Go after Rand. He's going to go after the next spot.
He's going to go after this woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, that's how we end this section, and then this chapter, and then we have the little short chapter 31, basically epilogue saying rumors everywhere, and it's a bunch of rumors. I mean, I would read through all of them, but they're just Tarvalon fell. The rebels were crushed. There were no rebels. Black Tower's broken. Black Tower did this. Aes Sedai destroyed the Sun Palace. No, Rand destroyed the Sunflower. Seanchan destroyed everyone. No, the Seanchan got pushed back to the sea. Rumors are everywhere. And the rumors spread. And we end the book. Yeah. And that's how a lot of these books end, with just rumors flying everywhere about what just happened. But yeah. So, but yeah, more rumors going around. No real conclusion. Ian did call me to apologize for not making tonight. He did say, "I have nothing more to add. This is my least favorite ending of any book we've read so far," is what he said. He says, because nothing gets concluded and everything's just left on a cliffhanger.
I swear to you, it would not surprise me if we go a whole book without hearing from anybody from the last two chapters.
How many Robert Jordan that would be?
You know, we have to have random men, but I could see no Perrin, no Fael, no Egwene. I could see that happen. I could
nothing
see
else. Okay.
I feel like we're gonna. Do we even get Matt in this book?
This was a book. 100%. This book was without Matt. Matt was mentioned but never seen.
So I could see the next book being Matt and Rand and
Matt's under a
Dark's
giant
friend.
wall in Ebudar.
Still under. This has been months now, and his ass has been trapped. Like,
Yeah, he's still under a giant wall.
or maybe he's got amnesia or something, and he's with
Yeah.
the Shan. He's married.
Well, it's like Fires of Heaven doesn't mention Perrin at all. It's a whole entire book without Perrin. This is the whole entire book without Matt. And then Dragon Reborn is pretty much, even though it's called the Dragon Reborn, it's pretty much the whole entire book without Rand. Because besides like the couple snippets at the beginning, a couple snippets at the end, it's not Rand's book. But yeah.
Yeah.
So did you read Alan? So I know you've read before, but did you read them as they were being published?
I did not. So I started reading the series before Memory Light came out, but
Right.
after all that, I was a later. So I think I started reading it in 2000. When did I don't know when Memory Light came out. I started reading 2010.
Okay. Yeah.
I Memory Light came out in 2013. So yeah, I mean that sounds right. 2010 is when I started reading it. So by the time I got to, I'm not sure when the Gathering Storm or the Towers of Midnight came out. Towers of Midnight was in 2010. So yeah, I started reading right as Towers of Midnight came out. So yeah.
So I remember, so I picked them up in like roughly like 99, 2000, I guess it ended up being.
Okay.
So read through them very quickly. So had to wait until like late 2000, I think it was, when Winter's Heart came out. So I was ticked off having that whole book without Matt, right? Because you like the building falls on him, right? And yeah, so it was a rough time to have to wait all those years for for the next
book. Mistakes have been made doing exactly that.
Yeah, I was, like I said, I was a little later to the series. I was not a big fantasy reader growing up. I mean, I had read Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, and The Hobbit. That was pretty much the extent of my fantasy reading growing up. Read a lot of other stuff. I was a reader, but just didn't read fantasy that much. I found the series accidentally. I created a nonprofit back in 2009 called Eye of the World. That was Expedition for Youth Education of the World. Was a sailing organization, and it was based on the Grateful Dead song "Eyes of the World." And as I was sailing in Australia, I walked into a random bookstore, and there was this book called Eye of the World on the shelf, and that was the name of my nonprofit that I had founded. So I bought it and read it. That's how I found the series. So it's literally like. Call it Taviran. I don't know. But it was just like, it was just one of those things where I wasn't in my wheelhouse at all of something I would normally read. It was just happenstance that I had named this nonprofit Eye of the World. Nothing to do with Robert Jordan at all. It had everything to do with the Eyes of the World by the Grateful Dead song. And yeah, the rest is history.
Cool.
Then read it and then reread it. So yeah, it's Now I've read a lot more fantasy since then, in the last 13 years. But yeah, that's where I was. But yeah, so fun times. Anything from all these chapters or this whole book or anything else, Chris, you wanted to discuss, or any questions, Dan, you had for Chris, or questions I could ask for Ian when he comes back next week? Anything at all you want to add?
Send him an email if you want. Okay.
Yeah, send him an email. I can give you his phone number. You can text him.
Yeah.
Ask him what the contract is.
Personally, I have nothing else to add. Like, I was actually not expecting. I felt like we got to this book really quickly.
Get through this book, yeah.
Yeah. So I was expecting a few more weeks on this book. But
gotcha. Now I have picked up the pace a little bit. For these books, we're gonna read through the next few books pretty fast. Just because, I mean, Winter's Heart has a really good has a very, very good ending. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say anything else besides that. Has a very climactic ending to it. And I know people say the slug doesn't exist. This and the beginning of Winter's Heart and even the next book after Winter's Heart is considered what people would call the slog. So I have up the speed that we're doing these.
Mm.
Just kind of make it through.
Dope.
Yeah. And now Alan has a habit of suckering people to read books at very slow spaces. Yes, yeah. I have another podcast called The Cosmere Reads where we're doing the exact same thing, guys, except with the Cosmere. with other people. With other people. Yeah, I have other suckers that agreed to do what Ian and Chris do. Will Rolando. Yeah, so they're reading a slow speed. But yeah, Chris and Ian get to read the Cosmere at their own leisure. And we do talk about it from time to time. But
I'm still waiting on Ian we finished it now. Now we gotta record. But
we gotta record. Yeah. So as a dark friend does. I know. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I torture Ian and Chris with slow reading. Just 2 or 3 chapters a week, and we just
how did you
make it through?
Bringing up Mistborn now, did you see the really cool card? I know you did. Everybody else, there's gonna be a card game, so I might actually get back into card games.
Yeah, there's gonna be a Mistborn card game coming out.
It's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a what?
A Mistborn card game.
Okay.
Like yeah. So
collectibles.
Yeah, like Pokemon or Magic or I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be a Mistborn card game. So as I told you, Chris, already when you told me that, just another way for Brandon Sanderson to take my money. So, looks like you're gonna be buying those along with all the other stuff that he comes up with. So anyways, thank you, Dane, so much for coming on. Go follow. Follow Dane on Twitter at Chad Bornhold. Danish is what he goes by these days. That does change from time to time, but he is best friends with Duffy, who actually plays Bornhold in the show. So I've seen the tweets going back and forth. All right, I know you guys are BFFs now. he even wore your shirt. Did you have a shirt made for him? Or something?
Yeah, I sent the shirt over. Someone, Tigraine Mantier on there, they had made a shirt that they gave to me when we went to JordanCon, and then so we sent him one as well. Yeah. So that was yeah.
So the actor who's playing Dane, you got Dane. I just picture the Spider-Man gif.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, he's super cool, man. Yeah, I mean he's very. Yeah, I mean he's pretty nice. I'm excited to see. Obviously, I mean, I'm excited to see the season 2 anyway, but it'll be cool to see how he brings, Dane to life. So
how does one finish? Those are White Cloak secrets that you have to join the order to get those secrets, and I'm not allowed anywhere near that organization, so I can't tell you, and he can't tell you either.
Season 2, that little nugget that they gave at the end of season 1, if you haven't seen, which I know everybody that's listening right now has seen it. But that was a nice little nugget.
Yeah, the Dark Friend Social?
Yeah, I hope they eat the little girl.
Gee.
Wow, I got dark facts. He seems hungry.
I hope, like, you see the I won't spoil more than the thing walking with the little girl off into the moonlight. That's kind of what I'm hoping. And then a scream.
Yeah, a chalk cookbot. All right. So how we can be found is at thewheelreads.com. www.thewheelreads.com. It has links to everything, all our social media. Go check us out there. You can find links to our episodes. You can play our episodes directly from there. You can view our episodes, our podcast directly from the website. Get links to our merchandise. We have a ton of
our sponsorship.
And sponsor. Yeah, at the very bottom there are sponsor links. So we are sponsored by several organizations, several companies. There are special deals you can get, some pretty cool ones. So go check it out. Go click on those links because there are actually really good deals. The NordVPN I think was the best one. There's a couple other ones, but the NordVPN is a great deal. They gave us I think it's like 68% off.
Yeah.
Cost if you sign up through our link. So yeah. Affiliate links. Yay. We'll do official episode brought to you by them when we don't have Patreons and I have something else to do. This episode's fire Patreons because we have new ones. We love you.
Yeah.
But when we don't have patrons, I'll plug NordVPN some more. But yeah, so go check it out there. Merchandise, sponsor links, all sorts of fun stuff. We have Patreon as well if you want to, like as I mentioned, join us, support us that way. Really, all that money goes towards things like equipment. As I mute myself trying to grab my mic. New cameras, equipment, goes towards things like giveaways. We do a ton of giveaways. We won't be able to do it without that. And then it actually does cost money to run a podcast. People don't realize that. We have to pay for like hosting and all sorts of other stuff. So anyways, yeah, it helps. So go check it out. Support us if you want to. If not, just listen to us. We do have ads too, so that helps too. So just listen to us helps. So anyway, yeah, review us. Tell us what you think. Tell us how horrible we are. I like all
Those are our
the,
favorites.
I love bad reviews because I don't care.
Give us high stars with bad reviews.
Well, there's a little secret, and Chris and Ian and I talk about this offline all the time, and I'll tell you this right now. And I know I'm live, and it's going to be part of the podcast right now. I don't care what you think about our podcast because we don't do it for you. We just want to hang out with our friends.
Excuse for us to hang out.
It's an excuse
My
for us
wife
to hang
loves
out once a week, and our wives let us do it. So, and talk about fantasy books. So, if you don't like it, I don't care. But if you do, great. We love you for it. So that's all I got for this week. So,
until next time,
I guess, yeah.
peace.
Okay, bye.